All right, here we are with I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, a Chuubo's marvelous wish-granting engine Fable. This is the intro episode. It is being recorded in January, February, March 2026. So I think the first season takes place like a year ago, timeline-wise, but it's going to be fresh for you guys when you listen to the episode after this. Let's get into the brass tacks, whatever that means. What is I Was a Teenage Exocolonist? I Was a Teenage Exocolonist is a fantastic game you should be throwing money at almost immediately. It was made in 2022 by Northway Games. What was the info we had here? Published by Finji, made by Sarah Northway. Northway Games is a BC company. It's up here in Canada. Like they're in British Columbia. So is the writer, I think.
Yeah, I think so. They're local to us.
Right? Everyone's local. Anyway.
If you're about my age, you've probably played the Rebuild games. Back when the zombie craze was still a thing.
Oh, wait. So their games actually were known for stuff before this? Because I saw the Rebuild games. Yes. I saw they weren't. I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. I never checked them out.
Yes. The Rebuild games were pretty big. At least.
So they had a presence.
I remember. Yeah.
That's fascinating. I completely missed that. Okay, so what's Exocolonist? Let's get down to that. Exocolonist is a visual novel, people will say. I will say it's a Princess Maker game, and I think the creators say it's a Princess Maker game as well. What's the difference? I don't know. You raise a person. Sometimes you're the dad raising the person. Sometimes you are the person raising the person. In Exocolonist, you're the person raising the person. You play Soul. They're named other shit because it's a game where you can customize your character. Move past it. You play Soul. Soul is a kid on an alien planet called Vertumna, the first exocolony ever made by Earth, the first planet landed on. I think that's an alien planet that isn't like in the solar system by anyone. And you get to go through 10 years of their life, their teenage years. By the end of the game, you're no longer a teenager. You're a teenage exocolonist through the whole game. So over those 10 years, you're on this alien planet. Stuff happens. Sometimes you die. When you die or come to the end of the game or get an ending, it loops right back to the beginning because it's a time loop game. Because I think every game's a time loop game. That's an interesting game at this point. It's just a really fascinating thing to do with a game. Even some of the princess makers, like Volcano Princess, that one spinoff, is kind of a time loop game. They all sort of assume you're coming back again and again and again. It's a natural growth of the genre. Like a Princess Maker game, for those of you who confusingly didn't pick it up from just the word alone, is a game where you play someone who has a person that you direct their life, their stats, how they grow, what they do, and they change into different people, and they go through different events and different like arcs and stuff. And by the ending, you get a bunch of ending slides like this is Fallout that tell you how it all played out. And there's a bunch of variability and toggles everywhere. They're ruinously hard to make because of all the stuff you have to account for. And like, if you're Toby Fox and all your dialogue is in one single loop in Undertale and not that great at parsing it out, you might have a real rough time making it. Slay the Princess. I don't think it's a Princess Maker game, but it's a very good adjacent time loop game to the kind of problems you could have making games like this. In Stars in Time is not a Princess Maker game, but it's a time loop game, and it has the same level of complexity kind of buried everywhere. The Princess Maker genre of these types of time loop games are very fiddly life simulator role-playing games, You get kind of down onto the personal level as opposed to like the big overarching plot level. You sort of build the plot as you go. In Exocolonist, Soul's life on Vertumna goes through a bunch of changes. People can die. You go back and can save them. You remember stuff from previous timelines. In the game file, the flags for remembering previous stuff are called hogs, like Groundhog's Day. And there's a bunch of different ways Soul can be a person. There's 3 different categories of skills: physical, mental, social. They each have, I think, 4 or 5 skills apiece. Each one of those skills represents a defined, definitive career path your character can take. And each career path ending slide has a bunch of variables. And that's just the career path. There's a bunch of other stuff in the background. Like there are 10 suitors who are basically the people you can date that you can basically fall in love with. And like there's an 11th extra one we don't have to worry about. And how you interact with them is represented in the game. That all gets ending slided. How your colony did. How your colony interacted with a different colony that shows up at one point. How you interact with the problem of the planet trying to kill you constantly. All of these things are accounted for by your actions in the game. So Exocolonist is probably one of the best. Like a Princess Maker game will run like 500, 1,000 turns or something because they go a real long time. Exocolonist, I think, is what? There's 4 months that are 3. There's 4 seasons that are 3 months, and then there's a
30 months.
There's a 5th season that's 1 month, so it's 13 months a year. So you get like 130 turns. The sessions with Soul are fast. You will blow through ages like 10 to 19 pretty quick once you get the hang of what's going on there. Or you could be like Pete, play like 2 lives, write a review of it, and not see the rest of the game. The iceberg under him.
I played like 3 times by now. Also seen someone else play it. Like, okay, I got the gist of it.
When you wrote that review, I bought Exocolonist, and Pete bought it a while ago, but I didn't play it until like last Christmas. And then I saw Pete had a review of it, and it's like, oh yeah, nothing about the game, just about like the first few runs you do of it. And like, but no, Pete, this is a reciteer situation.
But the game's over, Devon. The dev has been paid off.
I got the ending slide. For reference to listeners who don't know, Reciteer is that item shop merchant game. If you get through the first run through, like completing the game and paying off the debt is the first actual like tutorial loop, and then the game goes beyond that. And Pete didn't play beyond that. He just did the tutorial loop of 1 full debt payoff cycle, and it's like the game is over. That was the whole game.
I didn't engage with any friendship mechanics.
No, you didn't.
Back to that fucking time when I played Zero Time Dilemma with Chen, and the way Zero Time Dilemma starts is you are all trapped in a fucking cell, and the evil guy comes and is like, I'm gonna throw this coin. You tell me if it's heads or tails. If you guess correctly, I'll let you go. If you guess incorrectly, you're playing the fucking death murder game. So he flips the coin, and Chen guesses correctly, and he lets everyone go, and they leave, and that's an ending you can get. And Chen was like, "Okay, we're done." We haven't played the game since then.
Like that one Far Cry where if you wait long enough, the game just ends in the intro.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, Far Cry 4, the only good one.
Exocolonist has a similar thing. Once you go through a few loops, you can manipulate the ship before the ship crashes on the planet and blow the ship up.
Oh, nice.
Just end the game right then and there.
What the fuck?
Good job.
Yeah, then you live your life on Earth and it's happy and everything's fine. I wasn't
going to spoil that for the listeners, you piece of shit. yes, you can go to Earth and live your life on Earth. That is one of the endings.
Gonna have to bleep that out.
No, I'm not bleeping any of that out. Anyway, so I was a teenage exocolonist on Steam, consoles, other places. Buy it. It's a masterclass in game design. Masterclass, as Tim Rogers would say. Why are we here? Chuubo's marvelous wish-granting engine. Right. So,
yeah, also, like, if you guys haven't played the game, you can still listen to this game, to our game. It's fine. You don't need to have played it.
Exactly. We're going to get to that, listeners. We're going to get to the fact that you don't need to play the game to listen to this story, though it would help, because then you'll be on the same page we are, and you'll know all these goddamn characters. Anyway, Chuubo's marvelous wish.
There might be spoilers. Yeah,
there's always going to be spoilers. We'll explain the premise, and they'll understand without us having to say that there are spoilers or there are spoilers. They're adults. They can figure this out. So
people like to be warned about that these days.
People are coddled by being consumers to Marvel and should smarten up.
Okay, all right.
Chuubo's marvelous wish-granting engine, a diceless RPG by Jenna Morin. We talk about it a lot. Curiously, there's not a lot of actual plays we put out of it because they always seem to kind of seize up by the time we get to the part of putting the game out. We're learning as we go. It's a pretty heady game to get around. It's look, listen, listener. Okay, I'm going to be real with you. Okay, look, if you've been listening to us since you were like 20, you're clearly almost in your 30s at this point, so we can talk, person to person here, right? Chuubo's is basically a Ghibli adventure game. Yes, I know there's a bunch of those out there, and that it gets used all the time for D&D mods. Just fucking go along with me here on this. It's an actual real one. Jenna Morin basically took all the things that make a narrative that would have the intonations and themes and kind of beats of a Studio Ghibli-like packaged vibe experience and made it into a cohesive game that's extremely interesting to play because it's one of those very rare games where if you follow the rules exactly as the rules tell you to follow them in good faith, the game makes your experience more than the sum of its parts. Now, if you've listened to us at all, you'll know that the only other game we've talked about that does this is Fellowship. which is the only other game I think we've really played where if you just play the game and not change anything, the game naturally on its own makes you better at role-playing and makes your game a better experience than if you used any different engine. They're very hard to come by. Chuubo's is one of them. It's probably the harder of the two to get into. So it's diceless. It builds your characters out into arcs. Like, you're always going to be on a narrative arc of some kind because every character in history is always on an arc of some kind in a narrative, right? Like the arc of, wanting to be the best like no one ever was, getting stronger, all that nonsense you see in fiction and Lord of the Rings and everything. They're all sort of codified into like 7 or 8, I think it's like 8 arcs of a specific flavor that are broken up into quests. The whole game loop is doing things that gets you XP, that feed into your quests, that complete the quests. When quests are completed, they make changes to the world. Completing a chain of quests becomes an arc. Completing an arc makes a bigger change to your character and the world itself. And it loops like that forever. There's no over leveling to the point where you have to make characters again because you're all level 20. The game just goes on an endless forever cycle of character development. Older things fall away. Like, in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where they all used the ripple in the beginning to like fight vampires. And then when Stan showed up, no one ever talked about the ripple again. Chuubo's kind of just has that built in. Eventually, the older stuff that doesn't matter to your character development that is already incorporated into the core character fades away as discrete elements or just becomes a vestigial cosmetic element as the newer things that define your character flow on in. What I mean to say is Chuubo's is good for pretty much every game you'd want to play that's worth playing. Like if you're looking for a dungeon delving adventure, play Fellowship. Not D&D. What are you crazy? But if you're looking for like a story that has narrative and stakes, and then like a lot of like the good pulpy, meaty like character development stuff, and like it'll help you with emotional things, and it'll help you kind of move along characters in certain ways. Go to Chuubo's or its cousin Glitch, or its soon to be released younger sibling Nobilis 4th edition. They're all kind of spun off of Chuubo's. Chuubo's has been like a test bed engine for them. We don't have to get into that. We don't have to get into Jedamorn. We can just get into the fact that it's Chuubo's. If you know Chuubo's, you know. If you don't, look up a video. Not a bad video. Look up a good video. Nothing by someone who like is some sort of smooth-brained gamer. Look up someone who's like a narrative person or like an educational person telling you about Chuubo's.
Now that I've encouraged you to just read it, just grab it and read it. It's very long, but it's a great read, honestly.
Obviously, absolutely. Read that book. That's a great book. I've read it multiple times. It's amazing to read. Every time I read it, I get really, really into the groove. It's built like a textbook / like a poetry book / like a game book / like a novel / like a travelogue. It has a lot going on for it. So what's this game? Chuubo's Marvelous Wish Granting Engine, the Exocolonist Fable game we're running, is a very simple premise. We know everything that happens in the 10 years of Soul's childhood on Vertumna, from when the stratospheric ship crashes to the end of year 10, where either everything goes to hell or everything goes great or something in between. We have them lined out. I have the game files open. I've codified all the events and tagged them and stuff for other projects, but like, we understand the rhythm and beat of the game and the characters year by year, season by season, etc. So this game's premise is the characters here are playing 15-year-olds. They're Kombucha's age range. If you don't know who Kombucha is, play the game. You will. 15 years old. So by the end of the 10 years, they'll be 25, and we're not going to go past the 10 years because we're only doing the stuff we have game content for. So these teenagers start at the crash of the stratospheric onto Vertumna, and we go month by month every year, so 13 months in a year, through the 5 seasons, and it's a slice of life game, guys. There's no real goal or objective. You're on an alien world and you're 15 and your colony has existential issues and internal issues, and then a lot more internal issues in year 5 when the heliopause shows up. And the game is reacting to that. It is truly a slice of life game. It is truly reactive. Your characters need to have their own goals, their own wants, their own lives. They're going through being a teenager, There's no the plot to find the golden chalice to restore hope and peace to the land or anything. There's none of that going on. It's just people figuring out what to do with their lives, which has been super fun. I've liked it so far. It's kind of amazing. Is Soul around? Yes, obviously Soul's around. If Soul isn't around, why would we even be doing this? Soul is like one of the most important characters to the whole story. The other NPCs are too, but like Soul is there and they're clearly still in the time loop. And we do our best to keep Soul not away from the narrative, but away from being important to the narrative. Well, I do. Some players like to drag Soul in for every small thing and try to figure out that they're in a time loop, which we don't need to do. But Soul's around and has a distinct arc they're on. I actually went to the character creator for the game and actually built out this version of Soul, like picking all the options you pick, so just so I can get a grounding of who exactly she is for these seasons we do. What else? Oh, yeah. Okay. So we got G here. G plays a character called Serendipity. They don't show up till season 2, which we just finished recording. So stay tuned for that. You know? What else?
Yeah, be ready not to hear anything from me for a whole season.
I know, right? What else? Okay, so season 1 and season 2 are both year 1. We got to the end of year 1 in season 1, and then everything kind of went sideways timeline-wise, and we couldn't get together to record, and we just lost momentum, and then we got G on board, and then we just said, we'll just redo season 1 all over again, which we did, which was fun. And now we're going into season 3, which is year 2, which hopefully doesn't.
Because I had to take a break for most of season 2.
Oh yeah, that too as well. Like there was a bunch of things that just kind of happened around there that just kind of scrambled everything.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the first time around was a good us getting into the groove of how Chuubo works, because it's not that obvious instantly. And yeah, the second time around was a bit more in line of what probably Chuubo should be, and so on, I guess. Yeah. You guys need to listen to enjoy listening to us, and we're pretty much going over stuff as needed as it comes up. So yeah, don't worry about that stuff.
I think season 1's rough, but very entertaining. I think I snap at you guys a few times, so if you hear me yelling at them, well, what are you going to do about it? They hang out with me. They're clearly used to it. Get over it. Sorry, guys.
See, and also we started this whole game in person because, people were actually around for a brief, and eventually moved it to online because some of us don't live nearby, and so on, so on. It was fun. Yeah, it was studying go on.
No, keep going.
It was fun studying in person. I whipped out the cotton candy maker, and if people know the game, what's that about?
Oh God.
Cotton candy.
That was actually about a year ago, around now. Steph came up for a weekend, and we all got together for the first couple of sessions to set the tone, just to kind of get the in-person.
That was fun.
Yeah. If you guys know cotton candy from Exocolonist, it's one of those things where you're like, oh my God, no. Fun times.
Yeah, other than that, we have another player. She's not around at the moment, but we'll be back around.
Yeah, you'll hear a lot of Natalie in season 1. Sporadically in season 2, she started doing a move, so she's just wrapping that move up. That's why she's not here right now. We're having to take a couple weeks after we record this intro of not doing stuff. So by the time end-ish of April rolls around, I think Natalie will be good to go, and Pete will be good to go, and we'll all be good to go, and then season 3 recording will start. With that in mind. What?
So, I mean, I guess next thing we could talk about is the characters, I suppose.
Exactly. Pete, talk about your original season 1 character. And remember, you got to describe them physically because we lied in the first episode and said you already done that.
Okay, so my character is Digitigrade, aka Digi. He is a monkey boy character. He's kind of lanky, short brown hair, has in Exocolonist, all the characters, the younger characters have some gene mods to them, which augment their abilities to some extent. Some of them are less physical, some of them are more pronounced and so on. And his more pronounced is he has an animal gene mod that's, he's more of a monkey splice. So he has a prehensile tail, hands for feet, and some Digitigrade legs and stuff like that. regular human face, like slightly bigger canines as you see in some monkeys. And he's like wearing more like utilitarian clothes, fingerless gloves on all four hands and what have you. And he's like, in season 1, he's a little bit more tech focused. I think he was like more of a grease monkey. Things change a little bit in second season. We redid our characters. It's the same kind of concept, but like change some stats around and what have you. But
we'll cover that in the season 2 intro.
Yeah. So season 1 Digi, Grease Monkey, Monkey Boy. There we go.
Stephanie.
My character was Taxonomy, who loves animals and wanted to become a xenobiologist. They were a bit optimistic and naive when dealing with everyone, but well-meaning. And their special gene ability was Eagle Eye, which was perception, I guess.
Yeah, Eagle Eye.
Able to see really well. Yeah.
It's just the stock Eagle Eye perk, like mod.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And their not flaw, but issue was that they couldn't be lied to. And again, sometimes this is really helpful, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, in Chuubo's, characters have so-called bonds and afflictions, which are like hard truths about the world that they impose upon the narrative. So, for Taxonomy, it was that, she cannot be lied to, which is like an interesting thing to have in the game.
Yeah. So that was Taxonomy.
You describe how she looks?
A physical description.
Well, a teenager, so short, lanky, bright red hair. Pale skin.
Put you on the spot.
Because I took a break for a few months and I've completely forgotten most of my character.
What kind of clothes does she like wearing?
She usually wears practical clothes because she's in the outdoors a lot trying to study animals. So she's usually kind of in her outdoorsy, sportsy ranger outfits.
So no dungarees.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, neat. Okay, Ren, G, do you want to describe your character?
That'll be season 2 intro.
Sure.
Ren is just it's just an idea, not even an idea, but kind of. You can just Ren will haunt the narrative of season 1 with her absence.
Exactly. And then we had Natalie, who played trigonometry. She had brain genetics. I think she just basically had being super smart as her thing. It was a way to do analytical spatial stuff.
Yeah, sure. Let me pull up her character sheet.
Higher spatial geometry, blah, blah, blah. She was also a tech person, a science person, a nerd. I don't remember what she looks like.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with her character that both Digi and her were engineers, but they were different kind of engineers. She was more like a structural civic engineer, and Digi was more of a hands-on, kind of mechanic type of engineer. Kind of the whole thing about it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get Natalie to record a short description. You can just slice into this.
Yeah, I'm sure Pete will do that. Anyway,
we'll see.
Trigonometry is a character that has a description, listeners. We just look. Come on. We're not getting paid for this. You know that this is just coming off the cuff. We're not doing double takes. You get what you get, listener. It's been about 10 years at this point. You know. So,
Okay.
We got characters, we got premise, we got game, we got the video game we're basing it off of, we got the general gist. Is there anything else we want to cover in this intro before the listeners head right to episode 1? Like, do we want to cover themes, tone, maybe the type of arcs you guys were on, if you remember that? Do you guys remember your arcs?
I was on a night arc.
Yeah, the general theme of Chuubo, because you have to pick which genre you are, was pastoral. So, slice of life,
Yes.
kind of down to earth. And then within that, each character has a different thing. So night is about becoming someone. So you start out by figure out where you are at the start, and then you go from there and become someone else, and that's your whole thing about being night.
I think night is becoming iconic in some way. Like, it's not like you become the town doctor. You become the doctor people reference when people talk about, you want to become a doctor like this person, right? G?
That's I'd say that's true for the higher arc levels. At the lower arc levels, it can literally just be, yeah, I want to be the town doctor. It's like you take up a role in society, and those roles then typically get more and more meaningful in a larger sense, perhaps even a cosmic sense, because this is Chuubos we're talking about, and shit gets cosmic pretty damn fast. There
is a lot of miraculous and cosmic stuff that we're not engaging with because we're running through the mundane characters. But even the mundane characters, look, listeners, to put in perspective, if we were to play Exalted, you would only need to use mundane characters to be a solar Exalt if you really wanted. Superior God King 4, you spend 4 character points on it, there you go, you're done.
Yep.
No, yeah, if you play a Chuubo's mundane character, you might be literally as fast as light. You might be the thing that defines what speed is in the universe, and that's a mundane character. It's possible. This game has some ridiculous range, honestly.
Yeah, it's about what you calibrate and bound in the prep phase. Like, when we're playing the game, we sat down, we're like, okay, we're not going to have necromancers and magic and giant snakes the size of the world tree, obviously. But even with that in place, all of the hooks and abilities that would allow that stuff to happen are still there, just turned towards more mundane, human, down-to-earth stuff. Chuubo's Marvelous Wish Granting Engine, I think the best way I could describe it is, did any of you people watch Habane Ranmei? Man, I pronounced that so bad. The guy who did Serial Experiments Lane did this other anime about women with ash wings that wake up in a weird world, and it is the most slice of life anime I've ever seen that has nothing stupid in it also. Like, consistently good art, music, themes, tone, characters, mood, like this melancholic pastoral mood everywhere. Because pastoral needs melancholy. That has to be there. I know Gothic has a lot of that, but pastoral needs melancholy. That's what pining for the world is, Ashwings, Habane Ranmei. Look up that. That's Chuubo's.
I guess I'm going to have to watch Habane Ranmei. I'm also guessing at the pronunciation.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, oh my God. Steph, have you seen it?
Yes, I watched it with you.
Thank Christ. Thank the living Christ. Okay, good. Pete.
I too have seen it.
Good. We're all on the same page. This is wonderful.
Almost. I'm getting there.
You haven't seen it?
I'm noting it down. That's my homework.
It came out in the early 2000s. What have you been doing, man?
I don't know. I can't watch everything.
Did you see Angel Egg?
I'm gonna be real. I watch very little these days.
Angel Egg, man. Come on. Yoshitaka Amano did that artwork.
Yeah.
Why are we friends?
because I am the person who has read all this Jenna Moran shit, and that's useful to you. Let's be real.
Oh shit! I forgot the Jenna Moran people are going to be listening to this. All right, listen, we got to talk to you people. That's right, you people. I called it like I see it. We're not going to get a lot of this right.
Oh yeah.
No follow up. I don't want to say I don't want to hear about how we're not getting it right. I do want to hear about we're not getting it right. Actually, yeah. No, huh? I guess I thought I had more angry things to say to them.
I mean, as I'm going through the sessions, I'm also like, at the end of it, somebody tagging in like, oh, yes, we did this wrong, whatever. If I catch something, whatever, that's like post-episode, addition thing.
You know what the most unhelpful thing ever is to say to someone? Oh, well, it depends on your group. It depends on the storyteller. Fuck you if you say that a lot. Putting that out there. Listen, if someone's coming to you asking you, right? If someone's coming to you asking you about a complicated thing with a very specific cadence to it, like they wrote it out, they clearly thought about it, and you say, I guess it depends on the group, you are not contributing. Everyone fucking knows that. The sky is blue. We know, buddy. This is not an intellectual response. That is not contributing to the conversation. That is not helping anyone. Nobody wants to hear the fucking game is what you make of it, bro.
Yeah, it's like, buddy, if just talking it out with the group had solved this issue for us, I would not be asking.
And like most of the time when we bring these things up, it's not even because it's an issue. There's no issue to solve here that telling us to talk to our GM would do. No, dude, this is us and the GM fucking asking you people a question. Yeah, we're trying to get to the philosophical answer of, we want to understand intent. We want to understand what would be good or bad if we did it that way. We want to understand the consequences of this. We want to understand the trains of thought. We do not want to solve this as a group. We could solve it as a group. We have already solved it as a group. We are better at this than most groups, okay? We are trying to get to the game theory underneath.
We want to understand what the system intends for us to be doing, because so far if we follow the system, it's giving us some good stuff. So we want to see what is intended by the author and so on and so on. And we just don't want to tinker directly.
That is a good thing to kind of, that's what I was trying to say here, actually. Yeah. See, the point of this, listeners, is we didn't run Exocolonist and Chuubos just because we thought it'd be a perfect mashup. We want to learn Chuubos. And Exocolonist provides all the structure we need to do that. And it lets us do Exocolonist, because Nicole and I have put like 500 hours into it. And I have to do something with that amount of time. And I have to turn it into something that's a product or content. Mm-hmm. And this is that content. So when we say to a theoretical Nobilis / Chuubo / Jenna Morin community and ask them, what does the system want us to do for X or Y? And they say, you really got to figure out with your GM? No, that's wrong. The game has an intent. Games that are written well have intents. They have meaningful ways they're supposed to be played that were understood when they were designed and written. And we are trying to ascertain that and examine it and explore it so we can go through the game on its own terms in absolute 100% good faith, where we change nothing to our own liking and we make no assumptions that we bring outside of ourselves. If you play a game in bad faith, all you do is play something that is tainted by your own assumptions and your own biases, which is not what we were trying to do with Chuubos. We want to see it with eyes unburdened by bias. So telling us to figure out in the group is not helpful, because we can figure out in the group. We have figured out better games in worse scenarios as a group and gotten it all figured out. We're just trying to figure out what the game wants, because the book is sometimes not exactly 100% clear on which way it wants it to fall. And that could be intentional. And if it is intentional, then just say, oh, well, that part of the game is intentionally unintentional. It really is truly a matter of taste. That's not the true for every single goddamn part of the game. All right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The unfortunate thing about Jenna Moran is that, from what I heard of other people, she is an actual genius, and she seems to be writing for her own stuff. And unfortunately, she needs an editor badly to make it accessible to everybody else. And
spitball. I want to agree, but I don't, because just hearing that, she knows what her stuff is, and she does what she wants. And if you like it, you take it. You take it as it is. It doesn't get to be smoothed over for everyone. I don't know. That just makes arts more interesting to me. Not everything has to be God-bound, which I like, but is very much pre-chewed for me.
Oh. Yeah,
well,
it's
definitely, have to say, as the local Jenna Moran fan person, I like everything she writes. I'm sorry. That's just it's not like I like it because she wrote it. It's just like I've read a lot of stuff that she wrote, and like, okay, like a couple of the stories in Hither Be Dragons I can take or leave, but that's fine. But like the big stuff is always a good time for me. And man, few things fucking set my head on fire like reading this stuff. I know that's not your experience, Pete, but my God, do I ever want to do these games justice here?
Oh, right. I meant to mention the main writer, like the person who did the main stuff for Exocolonist, like the stuff, like if you love Exocolonist, you love it probably for the writing done by someone called Lindsay Ishihiro. She's also Vancouver, like local. She has a bunch of other stuff, by the way. Like her portfolio is huge. There's a bunch of other projects she does that are like interesting. I think they're putting out a game called Green Heart Necromancer right now. Go check her things out, because things you like about Exocolonist will be reflected in those things. I don't know if I had anything more to say other than do that.
I can imagine another reason you might love Exocolonist, and that is because, man, some of these character designs, whoo boy.
Oh, they're very fun. Okay, so without the listener having seen any of the suitors, I'm going to say off the top of my head, my favorite suitors are Tammy. I'm going to say Tammy and Rex are my favorite. Like, I like all the other ones. There's not a bad one in the bunch. Even Vase's design, and you'll understand what we mean by even Vase when we leave him out of beloved characters, because Vase sucks. But even his design is nice. It's a good design. I think Rex and Tammy are my favorites, though. They're the ones that are all like, oh wow, like the artist doing them, like they knew exactly they knew the assignment exactly when they made those two characters.
I'm a big fan of Rex too.
Right? Yeah. How can you not be? Look at that little ragamuffin.
My God. Like,
Rex, best boy.
Rex is amazing the moment you meet him, but like once he hits 18 and the fucking sprite changes, like I played into that, and I'm having these conversations and I'm looking at him like, dude, what the fuck? You gotta stop looking like that. You're gonna give me heart palpitations. What is this?
Thank God in the future, dog boys are allowed to be slutty. I'm gonna be honest, my favorite part about him is the hair. Like the way the hair is drawn and colored, it's like, it's perfect. Yeah. Excellent detail. Excellent, like, oh, look at that texture. It's just a little guy you could ruffle.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other suitors. There's like 8 more. I know 11th one that just comes up based on things you do. Don't worry about it. You'll play through. Just put 400 hours into the game. You could easily put 400 hours in. Why? Just do it. You know what? While we're here, listeners, we haven't talked in a while because I haven't put out a game in a while while I was recording shit. In Stars in Time, The Outer Wilds, I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, Slay the Princess, Paradise Killer. I'm just trying to think of all the stuff that was good.
Scarlet Hollow,
I haven't played through all of it, but yeah, Scarlet Hollow is apparently the gold standard at this point. No, Mushroom Musume. Look it up, listener. Mushroom Musume. You'll love it. There's probably other games I love, but these games are like, Deltarune came out, by the way, while there was a break between 2020X and now. Deltarune 2 chapters came out, and there's going to be 2 more coming out apparently, or this year. But yeah. All of these games came out within virtually a couple years of each other, except for a few outliers, and it's like it's a golden age of these kinds of games that are like super deep, super sink your teeth into. Really good writing, music, art, themes, mood, characters. All cylinders are firing in these games. I would also basically include Pacific Drive in these for reasons that don't seem clear, but it has the same thing going for it. There's been so many games in a period of like 3 years almost that just have all of the polish you could ever imagine, and all of the talent or the chops you could ever see being shown off by independent people. It rules. Check them out. All right, that's all we have to say. I was Devon.
I mean,
I was Stefan.
okay.
Nope, sorry.
Pete tried to stop it for the credits.
Well,
All right, give it back.
because like we went on a tangent and we were talking about like the character arcs and so on, but whatever.
Shit,
It doesn't matter. Who cares about character arcs? Half these characters die soon anyway. I was Devon.
What?
And Peter.
I was Stephanie.
And I'm G.
And this is sponsored by Nobody. Signing off. See you at episode 1 in a year in the past.
Oh yeah, we almost forgot. Content warnings for the game still apply here. So far, not too many of them have come up. And yeah, I'll link that in the description of this episode. And for the episodes that follow that will have anything need to be content warning, that will also add that. I know that for season 2 we had some suicidal ideations as a content warning. Other than that, everything so far up to season 2 has been fine. But yeah, we'll let you know if anything changes. Read the descriptions.